Hey YouTube, it's Cutt here, and we're bringing you another one. Okay, so we're trying something new where we're not going to do this live, the breakdown, so this is pre-recorded. I just want to, get a different feeling of what it's going to be. So today we're going to talk about Mission Impossible. Now, I wasn't into that whole Mission Impossible life, for real. Wasn't into all that. But this one was really good. But we'll talk about it. Before we talk about it, okay? Before we talk about it, those who know already know that if you join the Patreon, even at the lowest tier, the official Patreon, you get early access to my tutorials that are coming out. I'm trying to do weekly, either how to draw eyes, how to draw this, how to use Photoshop, how to use Procreate, all that good stuff. Now, if you get the second tier, which is the all access Patreon, then every month you also get free monthly wallpapers for your desktop, computer, and phones, okay? Which is really great. The one that we're doing for July is Dexter, so it's already available right now. You can grab it at any time if you become a patron. I do 3 different designs and layouts for the desktop and tablet, and I do 3 different designs for the phone as well. Now, if you're a VIP Patreon, you get all that good stuff, but you also get the vectors, free digital packs, which may be a vector, maybe brushes, maybe 3D models. The one that's for July is the Cutt brush pack #1, which is actually in the center of this photo right here. If you have not already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button, because we're going to keep bringing this stuff to you. Oh, yes. So, like I said, not into Mission Impossible, not into movies that are like super action packed. I like action, but I like action adventure, and sometimes all that it'd be too much. However, if I was to give this movie a rating, it's a 9.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, a 9.5 out of 10. It was really good. Okay. Really good. And like I said, I've probably only seen 3 Mission Impossibles in my life, maybe, and I think this is the 3rd one, and I don't remember which ones it was. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, now what is the vibes? So it's giving a little bit of Call of Duty. I know that's a game. It's giving a little bit of an Uncharted, the game. And it's also giving me a little bit of Now You See Me Too. Not really the first one, but the second one, they played a lot with cards and hand tricks and, you thought I had it in this hand, but it's actually in this hand. It was a lot of that in this movie, and I appreciated it. Appreciated it. Should you see it in the movie theaters? Yes. That's an IMAX. That's a big theater. There's so much going on. You need the screen. Yeah, go ahead. If you can see it in the movie theater, go on ahead, see it in the movie theater. Okay? All right. Do you need to watch the previous movies? Movies? I don't know, because I haven't seen them. From the way the story went with this one, it did do some flashbacks that I can tell was from the old movies. So maybe you don't need to see it, but if you know, and you know this franchise better than me, let me know in the comments if you're like, no. You're missing out. But this is a part 1, and there's a part 2. So it tells me that you probably don't need to see the previous ones. So I'm not really sure, but let me know in the comments if you really do need to watch the previous one. So it's directed by Christopher. Now, y'all know how I am with names now. That's why I had to reduce the names, because you're not going to hear me looking crazy out here. Christopher McQuarrie. I think I got that right. So he actually was the director of 3 of the other Mission Impossibles. He was the writer for The Tourist, which was actually a really good movie, and he was the screenplay writer for Top Gun, which was also really good. Never seen the original Top Gun, but I've seen the recent one. Really good movie. Really good movie. Okay, so let's talk about the characters. So this is how we do the characters now, because you're not going to have me going through all these different names, and I don't even know the people. So I put a star next to the people that I was really impressed by, or really was enjoyed seeing. Really love Tom Cruise. You know, Tom Cruise is one of those actors where I kind of forget that he is that man until I see him in movies, and I'm like, oh, he really is that man. Like, let's not play games with Tom Cruise. Although I kept calling him Tom Hanks recently. I don't know why. Anyway, and then you have, oh gosh, Haley Atwell. She did a really good job. She was very believable. You were rooting for her, even though you were rooting for her and not rooting for her at the same time. It was this weird thing that you're kind of going through. Also, Rebecca Ferguson. I don't spell mine right over here. Ferguson Oh my goodness. So she's on the show Silo on Apple TV. Get your life. Silo is really good, and that's where I was introduced. So when I saw the trailer and started in it, I was like, well, I'm going to enjoy it. It doesn't matter what she's doing. She did a phenomenal job, okay? Also, the two I want to talk about as well is Simon Pegg and Ving Ramis. Y'all know how anyone names. I just remember him from Pulp Fiction. But them two together, like they give me like Timon and Pumbaa vibes. It's very Timon and Pumbaa. I really enjoyed them together. Okay, let's talk about the villain. There's kind of two villains. For those, I keep forgetting to make a list for this. So I like to go off of a list that I found online. A lot of people have similar lists where there's like villains and what did I just move? I don't know what I just moved. Hold on. Something just moved. Hold on there. All right, I moved something. Something moving around. You can't see it, but I can see it. Let me just put it down. Right click it. Come on now. Don't play games with my life when it's not live. Okay. So I have a whole list that kind of shows different like villains. And it's like, the bully, the equal, the Mother Nature, the personification of evil. Every movie has different villains. This one has two. So he is more like the henchman, like not the main villain, but the main one we see the most. And then like the main villain is like the mastermind or the machine. I want to leave it there because I don't want to spoil, so we'll just kind of leave it right there. So yeah, that's one villain, and then the next villain, mastermind or the machine. Okay. Now, what is the message? It was hard finding the message here, but I think a playful message is trust the process. I don't think that's the core message, but I feel like that's an underlining message that I think was more important, because there's so many times where you're like, this man ain't gonna make it. And then, he makes it. Or you're like, oh, they don't have the thing that they're supposed to have. And they do have the thing they're supposed to have. So there's a lot of like, you got to trust the process. It may not look like it's going to be the way it's going to be, but it's really going to be what it's going to be. Type of situation. So that's what I felt like the message was, even though I'm sure there's a more of a deeper message, but that's the one I felt it inside of me. Okay. So, what could be better? The only thing was the beginning was a little slow. I don't mind slow movies. I don't mind slow moments, but I don't like slow pickups with a thing that's going to be like this. Because here's the thing. Once it picked up, like a runaway train, no pun intended. Like once it started, it did not stop. But it took a little sec to get started, and I didn't like that. Okay, and that was kind of throwing me for a second, but I got over it. Okay, let's talk about cinematography. Overall, really good. Nothing too crazy or too deep, but there were some really beautiful moments. Especially there's a desert scene that's really beautiful. There was some shots that I was like, that's old school. But then when I saw the way the intro was, I was like, oh, there's a certain aesthetic, a certain look here that they're trying to keep up from over the years. Yo, it's hot. I ain't got the air on. I want to turn it on, but it's going to make noise. Woo! About to pass out of here. Okay. So talking about the desert scene, let's talk about, I didn't put it here. My favorite action scenes, because I have like a little, you see the little list right here, but I didn't put it. My favorite action scenes, I call it the Call of Duty scene, which is in the beginning. I'm not going to go into the details, but there's like a whole desert fighting scene. The vibes, the wind blowing, it's a really beautiful scene. The fighting isn't really important, but the scene is delicious. The scene is delicious. Okay. There's a car chase. Who doesn't love a car chase? But this one was particularly done very well, very funny, very clever, and this is where you're like on the edge of your seat. Like, I love that. Okay. There's an alley fight. Like I said, I ain't gonna go into it, but this is it's thinner than this. We're talking. They're in Venice. It's like, okay. I guess this was for the world design, which I don't even have on there. But anyway, so That was like, whoa, they fighting in this little space. That's a great one. And last one, there were some other ones that I didn't talk about that were also really good. But last but not least is the train scene, which at first I was like, here we go. Fight. When people fight on top of a train, I'm always kind of like, that's not, it's possible, but come on. But there's an inside situation, as we can kind of see from this image. Divine. Like, I want to watch it again just to watch the train scene again. That was really good. Animation and CGI, nothing too noticeable where it's like, that's fake. Nothing too noticeable. It looked pretty good. I didn't see like, oh, there was some like, some, graphics and hologram type of things that looked really good, but nothing really going on. Just enough to make it feel natural. And I think that's important. The point is, this is one of those, if you don't notice it, it's doing its job type of thing, and that's what this did well with. Okay. Which one is this? Oh, I just found a picture because I didn't have a good picture for music and score and soundtrack. It had the theme, the Mission Impossible theme, kind of played throughout it, which I always love that. But nothing too seriously. There was some dramaticness. I do think, talking about sound design, going to the next slide. The scene that was the most sound design, in my opinion, was the desert scene and the train scene. There was, really good sound design in those moments. Okay. All right. This is out of order. Okay, next one. Oh, it's not. Okay, well, we'll just use this one. It was another picture. We're going to talk about costumes, but I don't know where the image is. Anyway, nothing serious, but I wanted to point out this lady, wherever she is. Come on, get it right. Cass. There he is. The lady. Oh, right here, right on the edge. What's her name? The one right here. Her. She's in The Boys. She has some really cool outfits throughout the whole thing. That's why I wanted to bring her up, but nothing crazy for everybody else, just regular clothes. Nothing really special. Okay, so is there an end credit scene? No, there's no end credit scene that I know of. I don't be staying for them, so I just sit there in the theater and I research, is there an end credit scene? Because you're not going to have me sitting here for hours. Okay, and from what I researched, there's no end credit scene, and I heard there's never been an end credit scene for Mission Impossible. Okay, is there a second movie? Yes, because there's a part 2. I am looking forward to it. I can't say they made me a fan where I'm like going to go back and watch the old ones, but I think going forward, I'll be looking forward to seeing the new ones at the very, very least. Okay, and what is? Oh, I guess. Okay. Anyway. So, what is the conclusion? Phenomenal movie. Phenomenal movie. If you can see it in a movie theater, go see it. Now, if you can only see one movie this year, go see Spider-Verse. If you can pick one movie, either see Spider-Verse, see Mario, or maybe this. If this is more of your vibes, you know what I mean? Definitely think about it. About, what's your thing? I think overall, fantastic movie. Definitely check it out. If you have not already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button, because we're going to keep bringing this stuff to you. And that's it. Oh. What are you doing? I know you're not about to leave. It's mad buttons down there. You ain't pushed on one of them. You better subscribe to my channel. See you soon.